Hello, hello, ladies. Oops, I just clicked off the screen. Hold on, let me find you again. There we are. Hey, fam, I see y'all in the chat. Happy Monday. My light is tripping over here. See if I can get this thing to stay on. There we go. Woo! Happy Monday. It's your girl, Natalie, the Keto Bikini Pro, back with another Monday Masterclass. Happy Monday. Tend to get a little excited and try not to yell or talk too fast tonight. See y'all popping on the chat. All right. We are talking about probably the most important topic ever tonight, and that is your why. Your why. If you don't have a reason for doing what you're doing that is clear in front of mind, good luck. Good luck staying on this journey. You're going to fall again and again and again and again. Ultimately, the why, your why, knowing your why, having a very clear why in front of your face really should be the first thing, the first step on your fitness journey. But most of us, myself included, way back in the day, tend to skip that step. We start setting goals and going for goals and putting all these external things out there thinking that's going to motivate us to take action. And then we wonder why we fail to take action, because putting a goal in place is not the same thing as having a why. So let me get all into it tonight. How to find your why. And for many of you here who already have your why, staying connected to it or reconnecting to it when you lose that connection, because anytime you stumble, falter along your journey, it is always 100% of the time because that why is no longer in front of your face. It's no longer front of mind. And that is what leads us astray or allows us to go astray, let's say. So I know a lot of y'all here in the chat have strong whys and have done this work with me in the group on your own using some of the tools that we've provided. So I would love to hear, do you have a strong, solid why that has carried you through challenges? Or do you struggle with finding your why? Are you not clear on your why? Drop in the comments and let me know where you stand on this topic. All right. As those comments come in, let's get into a little bit of the difference between a goal and a why, because I was just having a chat earlier with one of our ladies who we talked about this, and every single time I get on a prep call with a client who is interested in doing a competition prep, probably 100% of the time, they may not realize it, but wanting to compete, wanting to get on stage, there is a part of them that thinks or believes that having a stage date, having a competition goal, having the goal of getting on stage will be the thing that carries them through difficulties. They, most of the time, have issues that they're not dealing with their relationship with food, their relationship with their body, or their lack of consistency with following through on what they need to do to accomplish their goals. And they think, oh, if I compete, if I set a bigger goal, that's going to be the thing that motivates me. That's going to be the thing. If I set a stage date and tell all my family and friends that I'm getting on stage and I have this timeline and I have all this pressure, all of this external expectation and pressure, that's what I need. I need somebody else outside of me to know about it, to hold me accountable. All that pressure is going to make me do it. Well, I can guarantee you, external pressure will not make you better at doing the thing that you're already struggling with. If anything, all of that external pressure and expectation will cause more stress on you that will end up leading you deeper into the negative habits you already have. So setting new goals and bigger goals is not the answer. A goal is a what. It is not a why. Your goal is what you want. I want to get on stage. I want to compete. I want to be X body fat percentage. I want to be X weight. I want to lose X number of weight, of pounds on the scale. I want to be fit. I want to be strong. I want to be healthy. Whatever it is, that's the goal. That is not the why. Ooh, thank you for the honesty here and vulnerability. Wooly NC says, yep, need a much stronger why. I have one, but it doesn't carry me far enough in hard times. If you don't mind, I would love it if you would share what your current why is or what you think your why is. And we can, on this call tonight, I'm going to share, of course, my tips, my tricks, my tools, lessons, but I really would love to workshop it with you all because I want to see where you get stuck. What is it that you're getting stuck on? What are you struggling with? So those of you who are struggling to find or reconnect to your why, please share. This is my why, but I'm still effing up every other week. I'm still falling off the wagon. I'm still XYZ. Let's talk about it, okay? Let's make it more of an interactive workshop so I can help others too who may be getting stuck and don't know what to do to move forward in identifying a stronger why. And it may not be that you need to identify a stronger why. It may be that you need to reconnect with that why. That you're just not putting it in your face frequently enough. It's not as clear to you without doing something to bring it back front of mind. So we'll get into that in a little bit. All right. So the goal is not enough to push you past the obstacles and the step back. Setting bigger goals is only going to create more stress. It is not going to help you get past the difficulties. So the why is. So the preliminary step to identifying your why, and this is where goals come in. Most of the time, even the goal, the first goal that you set, I want weight loss. I want to lose 20 pounds. We set these superficial surface level goals, getting on stage, whatever it might be. And a lot of the time, that's not even the real goal. That's not even what we really want. There's really something else we want that's underneath that. So the preliminary step to identifying your why is to first get clear on exactly what it is that you are seeking. When you say my goal is weight loss, when you say I want to get toned, whatever the superficial goal is, what are you working towards specifically? Not weight loss or getting in shape, these vague terms we use, but what will weight loss do for you? What will getting in shape do for you? What will getting fit, toned, healthy, strong, what is that going to do for you? This is the beginning because it naturally begs the question, well, why do I want to lose weight? Why do I want this superficial goal? Here's the big question here, write this down. What will I have? What will I gain? What will I achieve that I don't currently have now after I've achieved that goal? After I've lost the weight, after I've gotten fit, toned, healthy, strong, those words we use to describe what we're going after. What will I have then that I don't have now? How will my life look different? These are some of the questions in an exercise I'm going to talk about in a little bit that I pose to my ladies when they do the journaling to really get clear on first, what the picture is of where we're going. Where do we want to go? What are we really saying we want when we say we want weight loss, body transformation? Okay. This opens up the opportunity to explore what's behind the goal of weight loss, because that is where the why lives. It's behind the goal. So, of course, there are plenty of techniques, strategies, exercises you can do, which I will give you toward later on in the masterclass to help you explore this. But here's what I want to get into. I'm about to make it super, super simple for you, because I don't want you to use finding your why as yet another analysis paralysis procrastination tool to keep you from taking action. Because you could do that. You could say, well, now I need to spend 3 months on my why. I need to make sure I have this clear why. And so I'm gonna work on this now. So this is going to be what I do for the next 90 days. And then once I have my why, then I can take action. No. Your why should make you want to take action immediately, yesterday, today. So it is really important that you don't spend too much time trying to find some fancy wording, perfectly explained, beautifully worded statement of why, and instead get straight down to it. It's actually very, very simple. We want to get you right to taking action on the things that will actually create results that will get you to where you're trying to go. So that's the whole point of having a why. We don't want the why to now become another distraction. And y'all know I talk about the limbic brain all the time. That emotional brain wants every single excuse it can to keep you comfortable in what is known and familiar, even if you hate where you are right now. So it's going to be like, oh, okay, finding the why. Let's spend a half a year on this. No, you don't need to. And you can continue to work on it all you want. But what you really need first is that push. And that's what we're looking for here. So let me quickly, before I dive into the simple way to find the why. And I know Deb's done the work. I'm going to use her as an example. Totally clear. Never going back to the shape I was in before. I was in pain. I couldn't be active. I was ashamed of how much I let myself go. No respect for myself. I may go off rarely, but I am very aware when I do. That was continued in another comment. So very clear why. Because she has a picture of the pain. She has a picture of where she was when I said, what is it that I think is behind that outcome that I want? That's really the crux of it, is what will weight loss do for me? What will this do for me? She talked about being in pain, not being able to be active, being ashamed, having no self-respect. So for her, what weight loss, getting in shape, what the goal would do for her when she achieved it was create the ability to move her body, be active, the ability to be active, a pain-free life where she could feel confident. If we flip everything that she said, I'm going to give you, so this is part of what we do. If we flip everything she said, she was ashamed. What is the opposite of ashamed? Pride, confidence, self-respect. She said she had no respect for herself. Self-respect. She now has self-respect. These are the things that she identified she didn't want, and that helped her create this vision of what she did want. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. The vision exercise, one of my favorite practices to to find your why. Ooh, okay. So I asked Wooly to share with us what the current why is. So current why: maintain all the gains I have made, no migraines, no reflux, no achy joints, 95 pounds down, depression decreased. How about depression eliminated? Because it's possible. It is possible, right? So this is really powerful stuff. What we're going to do is, and we can actually workshop this in a little bit with the exact exercise I just mentioned that Deb has done, to find the flip side. So we want to find the affirmations of all of these things you don't want, because connecting with what you don't want is a very powerful first step. So that's amazing. All right. We're going to come back to that. So what will achieving the goal do for you? That's the first question. Now, the simple thing. The simple thing. Forget all of the fancy time, long duration, time commitment things of finding this fancy why. Simple. You've probably heard me or Coach Bronson or somebody else say this before. Your why should make you cry or scream or do something. It should elicit emotion. If when you say those words, the reason why I want this is because, and you fill that in, if you do not feel some sort of emotion come up in you, that is not your why. It ain't it. It should elicit emotion. Remember this, write this down. If it doesn't move you in here, it won't move your feet. It won't move your ass. When all you want to do is sit down and relax and watch TV, it ain't going to move your ass to get up and go do something, go train, if it's not moving you in your heart, in your mind. If it doesn't move you inside, it will not move you, your feet. It will not move your ass. Finding your why can be a lot more simple than you think. Here's the questions I would want you to ask yourself if you're not clear on your why or you've lost touch with it, especially if you are like 7 days in and you mess up again, and you're 7 days in and you mess up again, and then 2 weeks go by and then you mess up again, and you keep finding yourself not being consistent with your training, with your nutrition, with the things, all the things you need to do to make this happen, right? And it's even better if it's not you asking yourself this question, but you imagine you either have a coach asking you this question or a friend, you imagine your spouse, you imagine somebody else asking you this question. Well, you're not sticking to it, so why don't you just quit? What's the point? Why bother? Why are you putting in all this effort if you're just gonna go back on it every week or every other week? Why are you even trying anymore? Why don't you just give up? Just eat all the junk you want every day and stay exactly where you are. Stop working out, watch all the Netflix you want, live a sedentary life, and eat all the things you enjoy. No matter how bad for you they are. Why not? How does that make y'all feel when I say that? If I were saying that to you, or your spouse were saying that to you, I'm sure some of your spouses have said that to you, especially when you're not consistent. The people in your life are always saying this to you, aren't they? They're always saying, well, clearly you hate this diet. Clearly it's making you miserable. Why are you still trying to do keto? Why don't you just eat the cake? Why don't you just eat the ice cream? Why don't you just, they're saying that all the time to you, right? How do you respond to that? How would you respond to that? If I were to ask you that question after your last off-roading or falling off the wagon or whatever it was, if I were to say to you, okay, clearly you don't want to do this, so why don't you just stop? Stop trying. Why is it so important to you? Finding your why can be as simple as that. If you don't have an answer to that question, get busy finding one. Why don't I just quit? It sure would be easier, wouldn't it? Just eat everything you want, never move your body. If you're not doing it, it's clearly not that important to you. So if you find yourself struggling to take action and doing the things that are necessary to get the results that you want, why are you bothering getting up and trying again the next day? Answer that question and you found your why. And here's some great examples from our ladies here. Bubbles, I've been med-free, even over the counter, for 6 years and 0 prescriptions. I want to keep it that way through active retirement. Active retirement. That's a vision. That is a vision. That's powerful. Becky, my why lies in my fear of chronic disease and losing my independence as I age. Being a nurse, I see this every day and I don't want to go down that path. What she just said is so powerful because she's seeing it. It's in her face every day. That's going to be a why that is hard to lose touch with. So many of y'all I hear saying, oh, it's so hard. I work in an environment where there's all this temptation all the time. Look around at people. Look around at the people who are indulging in that temptation. In 10 days or so, we're going on a cruise. We're going on a low-carb cruise. Guess what I see every year when I go on the low-carb cruise? I see people in motorized, not scooters, the little carts, little cars, whatever you call those things. Not able to walk from one end of the ship to the other. Not able to take the stairs. Driving themselves up to the bar and getting alcohol and the pizza place and the desserts and the buffet. Unable to walk. Unable to participate in half of the activities offered on the ship. And just happily driving up and shoving their faces with all that stuff, not moving, not doing anything to become mobile again. Everywhere you are, with all the temptation that's around you, there are also examples of what you don't want in your life. There are examples of why you're doing what you're doing, why you're choosing what you're choosing. So consider what you're looking at and what you're making it mean. Are you focused on the food so much and the enjoyment that that food would give you? Or are you focused on the people who are indulging in that food that have the life you would never want to live, that you're afraid of living? Because I know what I see on those cruise ships. Yeah, I see all that food. And I see a lot of sick people. And I would much rather be capable of living a full life, being able to do anything I want to do because I'm physically capable of doing so, any of the activities that I want, any of the excursions I want. There are always limitations on the cruise excursions. There are always excursions that require more mobility. These are opportunities and experiences in life you would miss out on. So this is the kind of thing, what are we looking at, right? So the hard truth is this: if you're not willing to put in the work necessary to get what you say you want, then you don't really want it. You don't want what you say you want. So figure out what you actually want. Go back to that first question. What do I actually want? The what and then the why. The what leads to the why. Be very specific. Don't make it this vague thing. I want to be healthy. What does that even mean? Get more specific on your what. What exactly am I seeking? And then the why comes from that. And if you're not doing the work, be honest, be real with yourself. It means you don't want it. And I hope that that pisses you off to hear that. I hope when I say that, you're like, damn it, yes, I do want it. Well, then prove it to me. Prove it to yourself. Because here's the thing. If you don't want it that bad, then that's perfectly okay. Or is it? Or is it? Is it okay? Ask yourself that. Is it okay if I quit right now? Am I okay with that? Am I okay just staying right where I am, never changing? If you're perfectly happy where you are, living the way you're living, eating the way you're eating, moving the way you're moving, having what you have in life, then you do not need to change a thing. But if you're unhappy with your current circumstances or the current results you're getting or the lack thereof, then you've got to get clear on a few things. First, what you want things to look like. Second, what it's going to take to make things look the way you want them to look. Third, your level of readiness and willingness to take the steps necessary to get the results that you're after. And then fourth, why these results are worth the effort, because that's the real question we're asking when we say your why. The real question we're asking is, why is it more worth it to me to do the things I may not feel like doing? Why is the effort worth it to me no matter how hard it gets? So how to find your why if you're having that hard time identifying it. There are 2 exercises, technically 3, but we'll wrap them into 2, that are really great for helping you with this. The first one is called the 7 levels deep exercise. You can Google this. This is all over the place. 7 levels deep. Basically what it is, or you could call it 7 levels of why. You start with your first goal. What is my goal? Losing 20 pounds, want to be fit, whatever that superficial goal is, you start there and you ask, why? Why do I want that goal? Why do I want to achieve that outcome? Write that answer down. Because what? So that I can what? Then you ask why to that second line. You don't put 7 different reasons why you want the thing. You're going deep, not wide. So we start with, why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Answer. Why is that important to me? Answer. Why is that important to me? Answer. Why is that important to me? And I like the why is it important to me? It tends to put you in more of a pensive place of exploration than just asking why open-ended. That deep exercise, that usually gets us down to the thing that creates the emotion. Losing 20 pounds doesn't usually elicit emotion. But when we start getting into the why I want that, and the why I want that, and the why I want that, why each level is important to you, usually around level 4 or 5, it starts bringing up the emotion. And sometimes that 6 and 7 are really difficult to pinpoint. But this is where I say, don't get stuck there. If that 5th level elicits the emotion, fine, that's okay to stop there and say, okay, I found it. You don't have to find 7. And then if you don't find 7, you got to spend 6 months finding it, right? Forget about the analysis paralysis and take the one that works. Take the one that hits you in the feels. Okay. So that's a great exercise. But my favorite one that to me is even stronger than that. It's a future vision exercise. You can think 1 year in the future, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever works best for you as you think about your future and where you want to be. We do this in the academy with, I got to give credit where credit is due, an exercise that I got from Glenn Livingston, Dr. Glenn Livingston, who wrote Never Binge Again. Powerful book, really incredible book. if you're ready for it, that I highly recommend for anybody who has problems with binge eating, emotional eating, overeating, anything in that realm. This book is incredible. It's not in the book. It's in a course that I took that I don't know if he offers this exact course anymore, but I do give credit in the exercise. He calls it the big why and the big why not. So what I will likely be retitling it because really it's this future visioning exercise. And essentially what you're identifying is two very different future realities that you will have if you achieve what you're seeking to achieve and if you remain the same and keep doing what you're doing. The important piece of this is that I like to think of it like you are at the bottom of a V. And each side of the V is a mountain that you're climbing towards your future reality. And every single day, every single choice you make every day is a step on one of the sides of the V. Or it's a step down. It could be a step up or a step down of one of the sides. So that your day-to-day decisions start to hold more weight to you after you have identified what the two very different trajectories, where those trajectories will take you. So today's decision is not just 15 calories of carbs or just a cookie or whatever you might want to, your limbic brain is going to tell you, it's just one bite, it's just one meal, it's just one missed workout, whatever it might be, right? The two visioning exercises, the big why is really what the big why, and is another reason why I want to retitle it, is asking more about the what than the why, creating that vision of where you're going, creating what you want your future to look like. And then the big why not is the creating the future vision of what you don't want your future to look like and what you're afraid of. So what some of these ladies mentioned, being on all kinds of prescription medications, having migraines, reflux, achy joints, depression, feeling shame, low self-esteem, no self-respect, being in pain, inability to be active. That's what you don't want. And what I like to encourage is to start with what you don't want. Start with that why not vision of where will I be a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now if I don't take action? If I eat the cookie every time I get the opportunity, if I skip the workout every time I get the opportunity, right? If I do the things that are counter to my goals, I'm going up this mountain and I'm going to end up over there. And what does that look like? Creating that picture of the pain and the fear of what you don't want your life to be like. And it could be for many of you exactly what your life is now. All the things you hate about where you are right now. All the things that make you upset, make you sad, make you feel bad about yourself. All of that needs to go in there. And that usually is where we start to identify what we actually want. Because a lot of the time we have a really hard time creating a vision of what we want, especially if we've never been there. If you've never been healthy weight, fit, strong, capable, you don't even have the words to describe what that looks like. You certainly don't have the picture of it in your mind. So what I like to do is start with the fear or the pain, right? And the way we do it in this exercise, there are some questions that are asked about each different area of your life. So you can get very clear, crystal clear on what that fear and that pain look like. How does it affect your physical body? What state is your physical body in? What state is your health in? How does it impact your relationships? How is it impacting your income, your finances, your career? How is it impacting, oh gosh, what else is in there, ladies? Remind me. I think we had something in there about the clothes you can wear and the way you can express yourself, and the just this picture of every single part of your life, right? So you want to ask yourself about every area of your life, how everything else is impacted. And if your answer is, I don't know, do not let yourself off the hook there. Figure it out. If I don't know how it would impact my relationship, get curious. How might it impact your relationship? If your body is like this, if your physical fitness is like this, if your health is like this, if your finances are like this, if your career is like this, if it impacts you in all these other ways, how might all of those things impact your relationships? There was a beautiful example recently of one of the ladies in our group who shared about how when she was doing all the things she needed to do to reach her goals and to get the results she wanted, how her husband started acting differently or responding differently to her. And then she answered right after that, I don't see how anything would be different in my life. And so I pointed out to her, well, you just explained how when you're doing all these things and you're showing up how you want to show up, it's having an impact on your family, on your significant other. That's exactly how life would be different. So it may be very difficult for you to identify, well, if I had 10 less pounds on my body, how is that going to impact the rest of my life? But you have to start looking at all of the other things that stack up, because none of this exists in a vacuum. We live in these 360-degree lives. There are things going on all around us, and nothing is separate. It is all impacted. Oh, I love this. Mary, financial freedom, self-confidence in all things. This self-confidence piece is so key. That self-respect Deb talked about, that's most of the time, that's the underpinning. When you do that 7 levels deep and you get to the deep level of why you really want this, the number of times I've seen women say, and it should do what it's doing to me right now. I never liked myself. I never loved myself. But to identify that what you're really seeking is self-love, self-respect, that you believe that when you achieve all these things, you will have that. There is nothing in your life that will not impact. It will impact everyone and everything around you when you find that love for yourself. And no, it doesn't come from the actual physical changes. It comes from who you become on the way to those physical changes. So yes, it can be tied to the results, but it's not from the results. If you just went and got plastic surgery to make it happen, you might like what you see in the mirror better, but that's not the thing that's creating the self-love and self-respect. The self-love and self-respect come from you taking action and showing up as who you want to be every day, and then receiving that, achieving that. That's what creates that pride, that confidence, that self-esteem more than anything else. And nobody can ever take that away from you, because you built it within yourself from the actions you took to get the thing you want. So starting with all the things you don't want, here's what I recommend you do. You write it all down, all the things you dislike about where you are now, or where you've been, or what you see your mother or your grandmother or your other people in your family, or the people that you work with, like Becky and Karen were saying, seeing the people that they work with, all those things you fear, all the pain that you want to avoid. And then you find the opposite. Even if you have to pull out a thesaurus and see what is the opposite of this word, you want to find the affirmative to the negative. So if it's that I don't want to have chronic pain, you could say I want to live pain-free. That's a step in the right direction, but it still has the word pain in there. From there, we may want to go to, having the ability to participate in life, having physical ability, having physical freedom, having physical independence. That's what some of these ladies have said, right? You want to find those words because those words are the vision of where you're going. So start with that, what you don't want, and then you can use all the words you use. Basically, you write it all down on a piece of paper, line by line, and then you draw a line, and then you write the opposite. And that is what you're seeking. So now you have this statement of the future you don't want, the big why not, and you have this statement of the future you want to create, and that is your why. You can take those as manifestos and you can write them down, you can print them out, you can put them side by side. You could even put a V on it. I should create this graphic and make this something that you all can all fill out. Put that graphic there so that you see that all of those daily decisions, all of those little choices you make every single day are what add up to you ending up on one of those mountaintops. And maybe even a better, more powerful image would be instead of two different mountaintops, it's the valley and the mountaintop. So you're either in a ditch or you're on the mountain. Because I think the mountain kind of represents just this, what Mary just said. I want to live limitless. That is so powerful. And look, here's the thing. We are not all motivated by the vision. We may sometimes be motivated by the vision, but we are not always motivated by the vision. So when you find yourself struggling again, I found my why, it was amazing, I had all the emotions, and then you backtrack again, you fall off the wagon again, you've just lost touch with it. That's all. It doesn't mean you have to go back to the drawing board, find a new why. Oh, that must not have been strong enough. No, you've just lost sight of it. So pull it back out. If you've done the work and writing it down, this is why I think it's so powerful to write it down. Write it down. Put it somewhere, preferably somewhere you can see it every day, so you can refresh your memory every day of where you don't want to be and where you do want to be. But here's your quick way of getting back in touch with your why when you've effed up, okay? Ask yourself the question again. Imagine it is your significant other, your mother, your best friend, or your coach asking you, gosh, seriously, clearly you don't want to do this. Why don't you just quit? What's the point? Why bother? Hopefully, that will piss you off. And then you can say, oh my gosh, I wrote this down. Let me go find that, pull it back out, read it. If it doesn't give you an emotional response, then maybe you do want to go back to the drawing board. But it should give you an emotional response. If it did once upon a time, then it will again. Simon Sinek, who wrote the book, It Starts With Why, which is a great recommended read. It Starts With Why by Simon Sinek. I just saw like a 2-minute clip that he did, a video he did about a quick way to find your why. And it was, oh no, that wasn't it. It was another clip. It was a clip where he said, your why doesn't change. You don't need a new why every year. Your why is who you are. That was like powerful, because what we're describing here when we talk about these two different visions, it's who we don't want to be. It's the life we don't want to live. And it's who we do want to be. And the reason we feel bad when we mess up along the way is because we're not living in alignment with that person we want to be. So when we create this vision of what we want that life to be, it begs the next question. Who do I have to be to have that life? And then it circles back to the beginning of the what do I need to do to become that person and to get that life? What is it going to take to create that vision for real in my life? And the why is simply, why is it worth the effort that I have to put in to get there? So that's all I have for you tonight. I want you to get busy working on that. And I want to circle back to Miss Willie here because I said I would. This was the current why. Maintain all the gains I have made. No migraines, no reflux, no achy joints, 95 pounds down, depression decreased, and more and more and more and more. When you read that, Willie, does that elicit emotion for you? Let me know. Love you too, Mary. Oh, thank you, Becky. It's all about the powerful, man. That's what we need. We need to connect to that. If we don't connect to something powerful that makes us take pause, get angry, get emotional, there's good luck. It's like, I want this. It'd be nice to have it, right? Oh, here we go. Yes. Okay, Willie, thank you. Not really. Thank you for being honest. All right, so that doesn't elicit emotion. So it sounds like we've got to find the thing that you really want. What are you really running from, or what are you really running toward? I would recommend for you to start with the 7 levels deep exercise. Just Google it. There's like, I think, free PDFs, and it'll be everywhere. But it's as simple as just writing 1 through 7 on a piece of paper. And you start with, what do I want? What's my goal, right? What is your goal? What are you working toward right now? Let's do it now, because I know a lot of y'all have asked me to do a live 7 levels deep. If you're down, we can workshop through it. And if you're not, that's totally cool too. You can go do it on your own, and then you can pop into the group and let us know if it resonated with you, the 7 levels deep. If you got stuck somewhere, we can always do another one of these masterclasses. Good health. Okay, let's start there, right? All right, so you are seeking good health. Why do you want good health? Why number 1? Why is that important to you? And thank you for being voluntold, taking the challenge of being our guinea pig here tonight. I think examples are so powerful for people to be able to do this for themselves. Sometimes we just need a good example. Okay, so first level deep, to not be debilitated later. Okay, so we have this debilitated word that is a very, I kind of, before we even go to the next level, I want to say, okay, let's define that. What does being debilitated look like and feel like for you? Describe that in some greater detail. And that will lead to our next why. Oh, I should put this up on the screen. Yeah, so there's number 1, right? Yeah, having good health is the goal. First why is so that I'm not debilitated later. And let's clarify that. She's going to say, not being debilitated means Oh, right. Don't want to, basically can't function on my own. Independence gone. Okay. So why do you not want to be debilitated and not be able to function? Sounds like you kind of just answered that second level of why. So the second level of why would be to have independence. You don't want to lose your independence, so you want your independence, right? So why is it important to you to be able to function, to not be debilitated, and to have your independence? This will be our second or third level. Yeah, because that was more of a clarification. So this will be our second level deep. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but the birdies are chirping out there today. How nice. Okay, we've got our next level. Why is it important to have your independence and to not be debilitated? Have to take care of myself. No one else around. Okay, here we go. We're starting to get somewhere now. So, wow, this is big. So there's no one to take care of you. That's powerful. You're all on your own. So this gets into that. What will life look like if you don't take action? You don't get those results. You don't achieve the health that you're wanting to achieve. And you end up in that, why not? You end up in the place you don't want to be, and you don't have anyone around. What can you imagine your life looks like that you don't want to happen? As you think about that, this leads us to the next why. So as you think about having to take care of yourself and not having anyone around and what that would look like if you were unwell, why is it important to you to be able to take care of yourself? What would happen if you couldn't? If you didn't take care of yourself now and you end up unwell? Here we go. End up in an institution with no autonomy. And how would that feel? I like the picture you're painting here, because no autonomy, that's powerful words. What does that mean to you? Paint us a picture, how you would be feeling and what life would look like. We're kind of doing both the 7 levels deep and the why not at the same time. But I think this is a great way to do it. You can totally combine these two. I think it becomes a lot more powerful that way. Oh, here we go. Okay. I have seen it, and it would be hell being told what I could or could not do and when and where I could do those things. Okay. So now we are getting into who you are as a person. Why would it be hell for you being told what you could and could not do? Why would it be hell for you to have your autonomy taken away? Why is it important to you to be in control of yourself and your choices? This is getting into the heart of who you are. This is where it all lives. It's freaking awesome, by the way. So appreciate you. My mom joined the chat, by the way, and it's interesting when I read this. I'm sure she's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. My mom's mom, my grandmother, is the most independent New York woman, born and bred, that you could ever imagine. Strong-willed, and this would be absolute hell for her as well. So I can see that. I can imagine that you are a strong-willed individual and you want to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. It's important to you. It's a part of who you are. I love it. I don't like being told what to do. So what we're getting into here is your identity. And I didn't even mention that yet on this masterclass. And that might be a really great next masterclass, because this month I'm doing all the mental health stuff. So I think next week we will dive into the identity piece. Ooh, this is perfect segue. Not having control. I don't like being told what to do. Not having control. This gets into the heart of who you are, your identity. When you think about who you are, if you were to describe yourself, especially the things you're proud of about yourself, I bet feeling in control of your life, your decisions, is important to you. And giving that away, giving that power away to someone else is scary. And it takes away a part of who you are. You'd be losing a part of yourself if you ended up in a position where you couldn't take care of yourself. And not only that you would be alone, but you would now have to rely on these strangers in an institution to do so. Are we getting any emotion yet? Hey, babe. Oh yeah, we're getting there. Definitely. Okay, so babe, you'd be very proud. We've been working through the 7 levels deep. Okay. With Wooly NC, who's been very vulnerable with us.
Awesome.
We're getting down to, you can see some of the comments, but about if you don't take she doesn't take control, ending up in an institution with no autonomy.
Mm.
Started out with not being able to function on my own, independence gone, because I have to take care of myself, no one else around. End up in an institution with no autonomy. And then I asked why. Why is that important to you? Because I've seen it. It would be hell being told what I can do and what I can't do, and when and where I could do those things.
Right.
And then we got into this having to do with identity, right? Don't like being told what to do, not having control. She says the why is not very strong. How is it not very strong? Why do you feel that it's not strong? Now I got to ask the why in the other direction. Because that to me is powerful.
What is it about not having control that once you want to make something change?
Oh, is strong.
Oh, is strong.
Okay. The why not? Oh, she said the why not is very strong. Yes. Yeah. The why not. Exactly. The why not is the thing that sometimes we're trying to create this picture of where we want to go, and it just doesn't do the same thing that leaning into what we don't want does. Yes. So keep going there. Keep going there on your own. Do the big why not in more depth. Go into the vision and really let those emotions come up and write it all down. And then from there, create your vision, as I talked about, for the other side of where you do want to go. And then you'll have your manifestos that you can always go back to when you're not feeling connected to the emotion. Because sometimes when the donuts are in our face, we're not connected to where we don't want to go. But it's all about the repetition, practicing, looking at it again and again and again. Absolutely. I'm so glad you found it. Yes. Connect to that. And next week we'll dive into identity. I don't think I've ever done that. Oh, I might have done an identity shaping. I don't think it was a masterclass though. So that'll be good. We'll get into the identity shaping, who we are, because that clip from Simon Sinek just really stuck with me, that the why is about who we are. And look at that. That was a great example. It always gets down when we do the 7 levels deep. It always ends up getting down to the who we are, because what we don't want to do is live outside of integrity and incongruence with who we are as a person. We want to maintain that identity. Or we want to break an identity of who we've been and we don't want to be anymore. So once again, it always goes back to those two different realities. So thank you so much for letting us, for being our guinea pig and letting us use you as an example. And I'm so glad that this helped. Anybody else who wants to workshop through this stuff, get into the Facebook group, drop a comment in there, and we'll be happy to just help you kind of workshop through it in there. And of course, in the academy, if you're in the academy, drop into the forums, hop on one of our Zoom calls. And if you're not yet in the academy, I have to say this before we hop off, we are finishing up the Prep for Summer program. We are literally in our last 2 weeks. It will be done on May 26th. And then we will be starting our brand new program on May 27th. New training program will be dropping then for 6 weeks in between throughout the month of June before we start our Summer Shred and Restore Challenge. So more information coming about the challenge. But in the meantime, dive into the academy. We have opened back up membership, so you can join for 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months. 1 month is great if you want to kind of check it out and you're not ready to make a bigger commitment. 6 months is the best option financially, because it will be less per month that you'll be paying if you do the 6 month. 3 months is a nice, happy in the middle Goldilocks zone. And if you're still not really ready to dive in yet, then hang tight and I'll be sharing details about the challenge very soon. All right, y'all. In the meantime, see you in the Facebook group and on our next YouTube Monday Masterclass next Monday. Love y'all. Go crush it this week. Connect with your why. Peace out.